And for our final story today, we're going to be heading down the road from Manchester to Ann Arbor to introduce you to a group of people who came together with one simple goal in mind: to create the most eco-friendly home on the planet. Were their efforts successful? Well, we're going to find out with a trip to Burbeck at Beacon Springs. When Tom and Marty Burbeck of Ann Arbor decided to build a new home for themselves, they wanted it to be something special, something unique, a home that would last for generations.
We were originally thinking of just building a cottage. Eventually that became, let's just build a house and move there. As we started walking the land, one of our first thoughts was, oh, farmland. Gosh, we could grow food for the hungry.
Healthy food.
Healthy, yes, yes.
We realized that there was so much that we could do in terms of expressing stewardship and the happiness that comes out of that, and how to give.
Tom and Marty were on a mission, but they weren't going to be able to tackle this project alone. It was time to bring in the experts, starting with architect Michael Clement, who proposed something rather unusual.
They thought, well, if we're going to do something sustainable, why do it half-baked? Why do half measures? Let's really see what we can do here. I tossed out this idea that there was this new certification program called Living Building Challenge. And I said, we might want to take a look at that. When we first met with Tom and Marty, their goal wasn't to design the world's most green home. As it turns out, that's what we did. We have this interesting intertwinement of very traditional, very Tuscan-esque architectural aspects mixed in with literally state-of-the-art technology. So much of Living Building Challenge, such as the ventilation tower here, such as our passive solar, it's just working more in concert with nature.
Burbeck is only the second residential building in the world to receive Living Building status from the International Living Future Institute. But what constitutes a living building?
There's 7 petals as part of the Living Building certification program: site, water, energy, materials, health and happiness, equity and beauty. It's really broken out into specifics and very specific requirements, which all have to be fulfilled in order to achieve certification.
The requirements for certification made the already difficult task of building a home even harder.
Certifying organization has put together a list of 600 toxic chemicals. This house has none of those, and that process of finding tile floor, drywall, roofing, wood, every last piece had to be vetted against that list of 600 chemicals.
Some examples are halogenated flame retardants that are often used. PVC, so polyvinyl chloride, is not acceptable to be used in a living home. And then that way it allowed Michael to know what he was able to use in his design in order to be able to hand off a great set of documents.
Bob Burnside was tapped to be the builder of Burbeck at Beacon Springs. With over 20 years of building homes under his belt, this was anything but business as usual for Bob.
Well, it really starts with a basic structure, and you have to start from there, from the foundation up. As far as the overall structure, the roof in this case is 17 inches thick. That's very unusual. Even down to the way the windows were installed, or the trom walls, like this wall right back here, which is a solid concrete wall with a window on the outside of it to suck up energy from the outside during the winter to help warm the house. So it's totally unique from bottom to top.
But the home isn't the only unique aspect of Beacon Springs. Tom and Marty have also taken full advantage of the 15-acre farm by growing food using an ancient process known as permaculture.
It's a method of growing food that looks at creating an ecosystem that is self-sustaining. You create berms and swales down a hillsides, and you plant the plants on the berm so that when it rains, the water comes down the hillside and stops in the swale uphill from the berm. The idea is you never want water to run off your land. You want to keep it on your land and use it. At least it's soaking into the aquifer, into the groundwater.
Between the house, the farming, and all the cutting-edge technology, the team behind this beacon for sustainability have found themselves on the bleeding edge of something remarkable. A new way of looking at the dwellings we inhabit, not just for today, but for the future.
It's really not just for us, it's for many generations to come.
Yes, it's really true that had we built just a house for us, it would have been smaller. But then you say, we need to be building something that will last 200 years. We both, I'm sure, envision it being a great place for many people to live.
Yeah.
That's our hope, that whoever has the house after us and for generations
Can experience it that same way or in better ways.
Yeah.
Tom and Marty's home is so efficient that it actually creates more energy than is needed. And all of that unwanted electricity gets pumped back into the electrical grid. So at the end of every month, the power company actually owes them money.